Well, for this picture, it was taken, yeah, just now. So maybe like you can take a look at this project. Well, for this building, yeah, this was Mo Fei Yang, Mo Fei Jin. At the time, I was the Chinese responsible person who worked with the Murphy Shong, and the building behind, which is the West Tower. It was also uh, having myself working with Wilkinson and Ron to design these two buildings. I'm just trying to talk to you about some minor changes during the process. Now, at the time, Murphy Sean, they have a different design with this aluminum cone, and I come up with a alloy cone, which is this cross shape. Murphy Sean, they like it, they think it's great, and they adopted this idea. So we make some adjustment to the core, and they make the facade. And also in the West Tower, at the time, they have a triangle face. There's only one side of the triangle face in the Pearl River. But perhaps you know, the price of a building facing river is much higher. The price is actually twice as much if you're facing the river. So if it's a triangle and only one side of the triangle facing the river, why don't we turn the triangle away so that two sides can facing the river, while we can make double the price? So at the time, Murphy Sean, it was American, they adopted my suggestion with pleasure. But Wilkinson, who is a British, and they did not accept our proposal. This is interesting. Of course, the owner agreed with the view because this is actually adding 100 million worth of sales value. That's a very worthy change. So I'm presenting you with two of my projects. The first is the Linke Office Tower in Guangzhou. The other, the Fortune Center, also here in Pearl River New Town. The Linke Office Tower was situated in this piece of land. And here, this is the rail from Guangzhou to Hong Kong. Very noisy. And the buildings were clustered, very clustered around it. So the density is quite high. In this neighborhood, these are mainly high-density residentials. So during design, the major challenge is, first of all, we need to mitigate the noise from the railway. And secondly, how do we mingle well with the residential apartments? If we use glass curtain walls, there's got to be a lot of light reflections, which lead to light pollution. In terms of volume, we see all the other buildings' windows are pretty small, and so we want to think of a solid design. We're thinking of a buffer design, so that it wouldn't be too much of a contrast with the residentials around. So this is our strategy. I'm not going to dwell in the details. This is the floor plane. On the back, these are the railways, where it is much noisy. And here, these are all residentials and apartments. The reason we align this building this way is because in Guangzhou's code, we have to be 50 meters away from this residential. If we move it horizontally, then we don't have enough space to design this building. But another rule or provision in the code is I can calculate from the central gravity point. So which is why I twisted the building. I rotate the corner to a certain degree. So from the central gravity point, we'll have enough 50 meters in space. Then we are complying with the code. So while we are becoming a diagonal rectangle, but then all the design has to be in relation with the slanted angle. All the slanted angle move to the podium, to the facade. It continue to extend from all the angles. This is the general ground plane. You see, the main building is in the center. On this central cone, this is the assets. This is the lobby entrance. This is a wet market. So we are facing the residentials, and these are the markets. It's a very simple floor plan. To the top, we have some new changes in new nuances to cope with the design, which is a headquarter design. So this is the facade. You see, by rotating or twisting the plane, we want this angle to extend all the way up, so we can continue to see a slanted line upwards. Very importantly, we want to develop a double skin. We have perforated boards, perforated aluminum boards on the outside, and inside we can use conventional low-cost aluminum windows, and is spiraling upwards. We use parametrics design, and we design 6 models of windows, 6 window panels, and then by using parametrics design, we come up with a cloud, swirling cloud kind of feeling. So this is the final result. Well, because the owner really liked it to be a landmark building, so this is a very holistic view, very simplistic. However, if you look at the details, like how we produce the smaller windows or the facades, and it's really mingling well with the surroundings. And the change of the rhythm will will make the facade appear to be not so monolithic. The windows are also showing nuances. This is a view from a different angle. Let me talk a bit more about the double skin. By employing double skin, we produce great acoustic buffering, and we can also bring in the light. This type of design, I didn't put in a picture. This is how the light reflections. They ask for a window for every room, but then 50%, there will be 50% perforation rate, so that the light can be introduced in. So we have ventilation effects, we have also shading effects, but also we have a good illumination. And this is another benefit is extremely low cost. to build. You see, inside these are just conventional aluminum windows. Buffer, but it's about 1,200 yuan per square meter in construction costs. You see, this is the half opaqueness, semi-opaqueness, where the windows can be filtered somehow, so the window will not be reflecting light directly, which is somewhat protecting the residential buildings around from light pollution. This is interior. The same designer of the West Tower of Peruvian New Town. Also a great architect firm in Guangzhou. Again, they use these diagonal slanting lines so that which is corresponding to the external facade. Another project, this is our project as a result of an international competition. It is on the other side of the central axis. This is the building, this one. We won the international competition. This is a night view. The location is clearly spelled out here. This is the Tobacco Tower. It was the Big Thumb project done by SOM. Now, when we are doing this project, we're looking at the views, we're looking at the urban fabrics. So we turn this design to a certain angle again. So again, this project is twisted. By twisted to a different angle, you come up with a great angle with the central axis. So this building, all the buildings are facing south or north, but only our building is rotated to a different angle. There are two results of this rotation. First of all, actually this building is enjoying better view by looking at to the central axis line, and we're also making a good correspondence to the SOM building. If you see, looking at on the right, this space is even more elastic, is more lively, and in more harmonious relations to the neighborhood. So we talk about the relations of the two buildings. We want to have a certain relations. They have this block-like design again, but that building has a certain curvature. We have a different type of curvature. So the one on the left is a bit soft, the other on the right is a bit hardened, so it's more feminine and masculine, yin and yang. Some people was showing this picture yesterday. Again, this is what we're presenting to the owner. In China, we like to tell stories. To convince owner easily, we produce this gesture, a gesture of humility, a gesture of greetings, introvertsy. Which means this building is going to be introvert, low profile, modesty. So we're looking at two key points. First of all, environmental friendly. By that we mean context friendly. By rotating the orientation, by making some minor changes to the direction, so we come up with a great mingling effect with the urban fabric. We also use underground and above the ground corridors. Then we achieve some connections. Professor Yuan, they talk about the above the ground pedestrian linkage. Actually, we are part of that links. And our efficiency is extremely high. Our efficiency of space usage is 80%. And also, I'd like to talk about the clearance. It's only 4.2 meters in floor clearance. However, the net clearance is close to 3 meters after all the facilities. This is results of structural design or other disciplines. That's the results where we have a net clearance of close to 3 meters. So you see, this is around these corners. We have a very vibrant city life around the corners. By elevators, we're rotating here. We are removing some of the central core and improving the efficiency. So this is 4.2 meters in clearance after completion. Then the net clearance is actually close to 3 meters in floor height. So this is the view. So you see on this side, this is the tobacco tower, and our building on the right, right on the both sides of the central access line. It is on the upper part of the central park, so you won't see many constructions. You don't see many buildings here. The design of the glasses, there are two types of designs. A normal glass should be the design on the left with some shading devices. However, on the sides we have ventilated glasses. This is a double glazed design. This is really pursuant to the local decoration methods. Many tenants, they like to install or decorate on site, which will generate a lot of odors. So in some of the high rises, that was not taken into account. So we're thinking in China, they will continue to decorate their offices. The new tenants will always decorate their offices, and decoration will create odors. And you have to provide a means of ventilation. From east to west, there could be natural ventilation. To south to north is a completely glass curtain. So this is also some small devices for ventilation, for venting out the odors coming from decoration. See, this is where we have the ventilated double glazed glasses. With that, I thank you.